So we probably shouldn't do this, but my wife and I, sometimes after the restaurant closes, sitting on the couch in the wee hours, and we'll look at Facebook and we'll read things about ourselves. And it's pretty, I found out that I own Tenpenny on Facebook. I wonder what they're going to tell the people who own Tenpenny. But yeah, I find out things all the time about myself on Facebook that I didn't know. But there's this one question that I've seen more than once that I want to take just a minute to talk about. And I hear people say, well, what's Pat Proctor done? Pat Proctor's been up there for 4 years and he hasn't done anything. Oh, really? You know, my predecessor spent 4 years in the House. He's a Democrat. He spent 4 years in the House and he spent 4 years in the Senate. And I counted the other day, and depending on how you count, in my 4 years just in the House, I've passed somewhere between 8 and 10 times more bills than he's passed in 8 in the legislature. When you send a Democrat to Topeka, which is a Republican town with a Republican supermajority in both houses, you're just sending a no. You're sending somebody to go up there and say no. Like no to a mill levy cut for every Kansan that we sent to the governor 3 times and the governor vetoed, and my predecessor, the Democrat senator for this state, or for this district, upheld the veto on. Okay, you're sending a no. Let me tell you what I have done. I don't have time, I only got 6 minutes, so I can't hit every bill. So I'm just gonna hit a few. But I'll tell you, I keep my word and I get results for Leavenworth. Before I was elected, for 4 years, we've been trying to get a veterans home for Northeast Kansas funded. Our Democratic senator would sponsor the bill and it would go nowhere because he's a Democrat. And I promised that if you sent me to Topeka, I was going to get that thing funded. And in my first year, I sponsored a bill. I see a couple co-sponsors here in the room. And we ran the bill on the floor and we got it passed. And we got funding for a veterans home for Northeast Kansas. You know, one of my neighbors, a small business a block from my house, because I have this reputation of I get results for Leavenworth, she came out to me and said, hey, I want to do conventions for my business in Leavenworth, but because of the law, body artists can't get permits, guest permits to work here, so I can't do a convention. Now, I don't know nothing about body art, but I know that conventions are restaurant business and hotel business. I told her I'll get that done. And so I went to Topeka, I kept my word, and I got results, I got that passed, and that's now law in the state of Kansas, and she can do a convention. Now, we're having regulation problems, we haven't got the convention done yet, but now I'm fighting with the Board of Cosmetology to get through the red tape so that she can do that, and God willing, we're going to do that this year. You know, Dinah Zach and Carol Ayers, who you both know very well, they came to me and said, you know, looks like the county's going to pull our funding for the Leavenworth County Historical Society. We need a new funding stream. Why did they come to me with that? Because they know if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to keep my word and I'm going to get results for Leavenworth. And so I told them, hey, let's do a First City license plate so that everybody that puts a First City license plate on their car, you're going to get a revenue stream for that to fund the museum so that you can finally build that housing facility for all of those photographic slides that are just sitting up in the attic. I went to Topeka, I kept my word, I got it done, it's now a law, and we're going to get those license plates. They're raising the $5,000 they need, and they've already got an artist working on the art. And finally, my Democrat opponent in this election, her husband came to me, a Democrat as well, and said, hey, I've got an idea that will bring investment to our historic downtown. I said, tell me what it is, because I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. If you got a good idea and it's good for Leavenworth, so tell me what the idea is. He told me what the idea is. I worked with the revisers. I got a bill drafted called the Historic Kansas Act. I took it to the legislature, pre-filed it. I got that bill passed that year. And you know that Wilcott Brewing that sits where the Club Venom for 10 years was empty with rain pouring through the ceiling? The Historic Kansas Act helped fund that project. If I have the honor of your vote to go back to Topeka to continue to serve you, I'm going to keep my word. I'm going to get results for Leavenworth. Thank you.